Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and this time I will be talking about a new topic which is negative income tax. Now you must have heard about positive income tax, average income tax, marginal income tax, regressive income tax, proportionate income tax, but you must have never heard about something like negative income tax, right? So negative income tax is basically based upon the doctrine of sufficiency. Now wherever you are living, in whichever country you are living, you must have calculated or estimated in a point of time in your life that you need a certain amount of money to sustain yourself in a particular period of time, right? So, for example, when I'm living in Delhi, I need at least or approximately 20 to 25,000 per month to cover my basic needs such as food, shelter, medicines, health, and education, right? And this is something, there are different amounts for different countries for a particular month, right? So this is something known as threshold income or sustainable amount of income, or you can also say it as poverty line, right? If you're earning below a certain amount of money where you cannot afford basic necessities, then in some countries those individuals or those group of people are considered as poor, right? That is how you fix below poverty line, right? So, and this is where the threshold income or the BPL income or the sustainable amount of money is something related to the negative income tax, right? So, when you're earning above a threshold income, I would say it threshold income now. If you're earning above threshold income, then your income is usually taxed by the state or the government, right? But when you are not earning when you are earning below that threshold income, then you are not taxed. But also when you are earning below threshold income, you cannot cover your basic necessities, right? Also, this threshold income for an individual is necessary because if an individual is not able to fulfill its basic needs, then he or she will not be able to pursue their future development goals or dreams, right? So this threshold income is very necessary, right? So in Western world, usually you see government gives unemployment allowances when a person is unemployed for a particular period of time, right? This unemployment allowance is given for to an unemployed individual so that he can cover his basic needs. So this is how this threshold income works, right? So the best way to understand the link between threshold income and negative income tax is to see through an example, right? So so for example, take a country like Czech Republic, right? And this is an hypothetical example. In Czech Republic, you need 1,000 crowns for a month to cover your basic needs such as paying rent, food, paying your for your education or health or medicines, right? So this 1,000 is a threshold income, right? Now, if I am earning above that 1,000 Czech crowns, then I need to pay taxes to the government, right? But if I am earning below this 1,000 Czech crowns, uh, then what is happening is I am not able to cover my basic necessities. Okay. Now you may see that now in this case I am earning 600 Czech crowns. My income is 600 Czech crowns as compared to the threshold income which is 1,000 Czech crowns, right? So now what the government will do is that I will notify this through my tax returns or through my income statement to the government that I am earning 600 Czech crowns instead of 1,000 Czech crowns. Okay. The government will note that there is an income gap between the threshold income and my income, which is 400 Czech crowns. And what the government will do is that they will pay me some 50 to 70% of that income gap which I am facing in a month, right? So the government will pay me, say in this case, the negative income tax rate is 70%. So the government will pay me 70% of 400 Czech crowns in this case. Okay. So I will get a transfer payment of 280 Czech crowns. Okay. To cover my so in a way, government is supporting me to cover my basic needs. So my income has increased from 600 to 880. Now I'm more closer to the threshold income, which is actually necessary to fulfill my basic needs, right? So this is how a negative income tax works. I don't have to pay taxes, but the government will pay me a tax payment in a form of tax. I mean, pay me to bring me closer to the threshold income, right? So this is a kind of a transfer payment from government to the individual, from public account to private account, right? Okay. So another example could be there is a threshold income of $40,000, maybe in US. You need $40,000 per month to sustain yourself with basic needs, and my income is 21,000. Now you tell me what would be the income gap, and if the negative income tax rate in United States is 60%, then how much will I get from the government, right? So you can try to solve yourself this example so that you could understand that how this negative income tax rate works, right? Now the question which arise to my mind, and it should arise to my mind, is that why the government is covering only 70% in this case or 60% in this case of the income gap, of my income gap, right? Why is not government paying me full 400 check rounds instead of only 70% or 60%, right? Now the reason behind this uh, partial fulfillment of income gap is because the government does not want to demotivate you or erase all the incentives to reach that threshold income, right? Because the point is that if I know that government is paying my income gap, then I may not earn at all, right? I may earn zero check rounds, and then I will file my income statement or tax return statement, and I will say my income, and the government will say your income gap is 1,000 crowns, right? So 70% of 1,000 crowns is 700 crowns. So now I am earning more than which I used to without working at all, right? So this is where negative income tax could be misused, right? So wherever this negative income tax will be implemented, the government will say that you need to have a minimum income of your own income of at least 300 to 400 check rounds, right? You cannot earn zero check rounds and then say no, oh, I'm not earning not earning at all, so please pay me the income gap of 1,000 check rounds, right? But this was the first point. But the main question is why only 50 to 60% or 50 to 70% of negative income tax rate? So again, the government does not want us to lose out the incentive to reach the 1,000 check rounds. They don't want us to lose out the motivation to work at all. That is why the government only pays 50 to 70% of income tax, negative income tax rate. Okay, so this is all is from my side. I hope you're able to understand it. Just another information is that the concept of negative income tax was given by Milton Friedman, and this is something related to the much debated and dialogued universal basic income, which is being currently talked about in Western countries, in developed countries as well as in developing countries. So I hope you learned something from this video, and thank you so much for watching this video and keep learning. Bye.